Kunti uvacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antar Bahe Avastitam Antar Bahir Avastitam Kunti Uvacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antar Bahiravasthitam Kunti Uvacha Namasye Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antar Bahiravasthitam. You are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of material nature. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Translation with repetition. Srimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Purport. Srimati Kunti was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances onto her nephew. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha, beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infallible. The living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature. But the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. Then again he is addressed as Ishvara or the controller. The living entities or the demigods like Chandra and Surya are also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara or the ultimate controller. He is Parameshvara or the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as her nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the Lord says, I am sustained in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. Queen Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle to the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Sri Krishna is all-pervading or localized. In fact, he is both, but he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered souls. This checking curtain is called the Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Vaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading the verses from chapter named Prayers by Queen Kunti. These prayers are offered by Kunti just before Lord Krishna wanted to depart after enthroning Yudhishthira after the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So that was the time we saw in the previous verses. At that same instance, Ashwatthama was trying to kill the only descendant of the Kurus, and miraculously, with the personal energy of the Lord, he covered the embryo from not being destroyed. And here, in the verses starting from today, from this verse, you will see a series of exalted verses offered, prayers. These are prayers offered by Queen Kunti. And why these prayers are so significant, we will unveil. But the aspect of how Lord acts when he comes to this world can be first seen. So Prabhupada says Srimati Kunti was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he is playing the part of her nephew. We know Krishna was Kunti's brother's son, right? Kunti's brother was Vasudeva. Vasudeva's son was Krishna. But in that way, she is an aunt to Krishna. Generally, when they are about to go after a visit, they seek blessings. because she is an elderly aunt, and Krishna was playing a perfect role of a nephew. And as we see, he was going to everybody, and then to some of them he was blessing, to whom he was to whom he is elder, and to Kunti he was seeking blessings. Krishna was seeking blessings, and at that time when Krishna is seeking blessings from Kunti, Kunti is offering prayers. It's the other way. Kunti knows the position of Sri Krishna, that he is not ordinary nephew, he is the supreme person. So here we can see the words that are being used by Kunti to explain Krishna. The adjectives namaste purusham tvadyam. The first word itself is namaste. So any personality, when we offer, even to Prabhupada, we offer obeisances and pray this pranam mantra, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, right? Nama means paying obeisances. So that's the right way of paying obeisances or showing respects. It starts with Nama, means paying respects or obeisances. So that's how Kunti Devi is addressing Krishna. Purusham Tvadyam, you are the original Supreme Lord. Tva Adyam, Adyam means the first person. Ishwaram Prakrite Param, you are the Ishwara, Supreme Controller. Prakrite Param, you are beyond the material cosmos. So see the adjectives that Kunti is addressing. See the words that Kunti uses to address. Alaksham sarva bhutanam. You are sarva bhutanam, you are everywhere. Alakshan, but you are not seen. Antar bahir avastitam. You are inside, you are outside. You are existing elsewhere, everywhere, but you are not seen. You are invisible. So generally people have the conception and try and explain God is great. But how do we explain? How much is he great? That they will fall short of words. And here we can see from Kunti's prayers, what are the words she is using to explain the Supreme Lord. The older adjectives, Purusham, Tvadyam, Ishwaram. So these have deep inner meaning when she addresses or picks these words to explain the Supreme Personality and his qualities. Say for example, we want to meet somebody. Okay, so even say for example Prime Minister or the Chief Minister or whoever, even to meet them it's not easy. And if you have to understand him and then have a conversation, it's much more difficult. And with one or two conversations you cannot explain him, right? You have to deal with him. If you have to know some person, you have to deal with him. So here Kunti is explaining, after a long dealt, she has been with Krishna throughout her whole life. So with that experience she is explaining. You cannot explain a person unless you know him. And the words used here are after so much of deliberation. An ordinary person, if you have to understand, you have to become a secretary to PM, or secretary to CM, to understand him and then probably explain him how a person he is. And can we explain the Supreme Lord just like that, unless we have developed that relationship? No. So there is a need of knowing how great is God, or how do we explain him. And these verses deliberate us to understand from the experience of people how which words how we have to glorify Lord. In the prayers that Krishna was, Kunti is offering, in the prayers that we see, she systematically glorifies one quality after the other, one quality after the other. In fact, there are a series of 15 to 18 verses. This is just the first verse. And she has picked such nice words to address the Supreme. And when you see the position of Krishna, he is acting as a normal person. He is going to Kunti Devi, seeking her blessings, going to Yudhishthira Maharaj, because Yudhishthira Maharaj was a little elder, and Krishna is seeking his blessings also. But of course, Yudhishthira hugs Krishna. Shri Radha Govinda Ki Jai. So, Purusha, let's try to understand this word Purusha. Generally, we see Purusha and Stri in this world. That's how it is mostly understood as, but that's not the right understanding. Here, if you see the word-to-word meaning, Purusha is translated as the supreme person. The opposite of Purusha is, we are all Prakritis. Purusha can be named as predominator, and Prakriti as predominated. He is the one who can receive all the seva services, and Prakriti are the one who should be ready to give all the services to that Purusha. Supreme enjoyer and enjoyed. We can use these words also. Lord is the supreme enjoyer, he is called Purusha, and Prakriti is enjoyed. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says what is the position of living entities? Prakriti. There are two types of Prakriti, external Prakriti and internal Prakriti. External Prakriti is the Panchabhutas, Bhumirapo Nalo Vayu, Kammano Buddhirevacha, Ahankaretyame, Bhinname Prakriti Astada. So these are the external Prakriti, and there is an internal Prakriti. What is that? The Jiva Bhuta. Apareyam itastimi Prakritim viddhime param Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Edam Daryate Jagat. There is one more Prakriti apart from the Panchabhutas, is the superior Prakriti, but he is still a Prakriti and he is the Jiva. We are all Jivas and we are addressed here as Prakritis. So this is a very important understanding, that all the time we should be aware that we are Prakritis and Lord is the Purusha. And the next adjective that Kunti uses to explain Krishna is the Ishvara. Ishvara means controller. So we all have some capability of controlling. Even say, for example, an institute to be managed, there is a controller. A company to be managed, there is a controller. There is a department everywhere. So everywhere there is a controller in place. Even the planets, sun god is controlled by a person. His name is Vivasvan. Moon planet is also controlled. There is a person. They are all devatas. Vayu, Ashtatik Palakas. So there are many controllers controlling different aspects. But we should know who is the supreme controller is Krishna. So in that way, if we analyze everything that happens, now the next is Antarbahiravastitam. You are inside and you are outside. This is little complex to understand. How can he be inside and outside? What is inside and outside? Inside our body or inside this world or anywhere. Outside. Elsewhere. Anywhere. The aspects that are used is Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. He can be in the smallest of atom, and he can be manifesting as biggest of all. He can manifest as a Virat Rupa. How do we see Virat Rupa? We have seen some aspects of Virat Rupa, right? Virat Rupa means whole planetary systems or everything is assumed as his body. Upper planetary systems are the Virat Rupa's head and shoulders like, and the lower planetary systems are the legs like. The mountains that we see are the bones of the Virat Rupa. We have heard this. So he can be like that, or he can be in the atom. So this aspect is quite a bit misunderstood in many schools of thought. Mayavadis, they think this is Krishna is also one of us. They never address him with these adjectives. A very nice example Prabhupada gives about this Antar Bahir is it's a very nice verse from Narada Purana. Narada Pancharatra. Aradito yadi haris tapasa tatakim, naradito yadi haris tapasa tatakim, antar bahir yadi haris tapasa tatakim, nantar bahir yadi haris tapasa tatakim. So what does it mean? If you can see Krishna antar and bahir, within and without, then all your tapasya is finished. So we do different tapasyas, getting up early in the morning, trying to finish our rounds with concentration, and then try and focus on different services. So if by doing these services and we are able to see Krishna inside and outside, everywhere, then all your tapasya has a meaning. This verse also says, and if you cannot see Lord Krishna inside and outside, then you may undergo various types of tapasya and education. It's all useless, waste of time. So by your aspects of tapas, if you are not seeing Krishna everywhere, inside and outside, then all your tapasya is waste. So it is so important that any aspect, so that's where when I was reading this, I was trying to recall how a Bhagavata, Param Bhagavata, he sees everywhere Krishna. That's the instinct that he has developed. Because Krishna says external energy, internal energy, everything belongs to him. He is the controller, Ishvara. So to live to that state is the highest Bhagavata state. So that's why it is told all your tapasas should lead to see Krishna everywhere. In this context, Prabhupada brings in the Leela of Mother Yashoda, trying to chastise Krishna for eating little sand and mud. So there were complaints against Krishna that when he was young, and then Krishna has eaten mud. So Yashoda wants to chastise. So Yashoda calls, open your mouth. Let me see if you have eaten. Then once Krishna opens, what does she see? Not just the mud. She sees all the Brahmandas, all the universes. So that shows Antar Bahiravastitam, he is inside and outside also. So she was bewildered. Then Krishna because Yashoda as a mother, she can never understand how, because Krishna wanted that mother be chastising him. And if she knows that he is the Supreme Lord, she cannot chastise. Right? So again by the Yoga Maya, she is covered, and then she says, okay, all right, don't do this next time. Within a moment's time, she is again covered. So all that is very much reserved for the pure devotees. This seeing of Krishna everywhere, of course, Vrindavan Vasis, they don't know the intricacies of Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, Bhagavan realization, in that sense as such. But their only qualification is, my only object of love is Krishna. They don't know the details of so much. But ultimately, what is this leading to? You have to see Krishna everywhere, Antar Bahir. And they are already seeing. Vrindavan Vasis are seeing everywhere. In the sense like they want to do everything and anything for Krishna. So their tapasya is done. Because their only object of love is Krishna. Somebody deliberates this subject and then gets into that understanding, and somebody is already blessed with that understanding. So that's where Vrindavan Vasis are much more in the higher state than anybody else. Krishna, Prabhupada in fact says, Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. When he goes to Dwaraka, Mathura, he is Vasudeva Krishna. So he can manifest many energies. The idea is, how well are we getting purified to understand this? These all things will get manifested as we get purified. As we come out of this Mama Maya Durattaya, his energy is not easy to come out of unless one surrenders onto Lord. So what is that shloka? Mame vaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. If you surrender onto me, then you will cross over the hardest struggles of this external energy Maya. Both are energies, his energies. But these energies will keep us fit. Why are exams? As this is the time of exams, many people are trying. Why are exams kept? So that all their learnings and abilities are checked, are tested. So as we try and understand this philosophy, try and become more and more Krishna conscious, take tapasya, we get more and more qualified. So we can see from this beautiful verses how Kunti Devi is explaining with her realizations, with these exalted words. We will continue to see this further in next verses. I'll stop here if you have any questions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణ వాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107700. హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు, ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి 9133107777.